Stop media.
All right, what up, everybody? Welcome to the channel, and my name is Siren with a Y. And I'm going to give a couple disclaimers before we even jump right into Sinnabunny, which is also known as Dana Christine Hare. First things first, we can all snark and have some fun, but there is a line, of course, and the first one is nobody go and send hate or harassment or anything like that to her or on her pages. Don't leave nasty, icky comments or anybody that she's associated with. And this is all about fun. So some of the other creators have made their channels very, what's the word here? Censored, if you will. This is not that channel. All right. So if you don't like foul language and you don't like it to be real, that's okay. Everybody has their flavor. That's their channel. This is mine. So this particular individual, and I'm going to just kind of put this out here too, has been in sex work, is what she stated. I don't know that she's really doing that too much anymore. However, the biggest issue here is the fact that she posts these things that she does, in addition to having a child and putting these things on the same platform in account with her sex work and her child. Some of it's been very controversial, is whether she's home or whether she's around for this kid. She goes on like 5-6 dates a week on some weeks, and lately she's claiming that's not the case. And we're going to do some current up-to-date stuff as it goes, because some of it's pretty entertaining. Why not? And I think we should also do some that are like in the way back machine. So there's that. This is all just for entertainment purposes, and you can say and or education, whatever. Okay, everything is from her profile or somebody else's public profile, right? So this is kind of where things get a little sticky for public creators, because you put it out here for everybody to look at, snark at, whatever, and that's what we gonna do. So nothing was private. This is a fair use of the information that's been provided and or public record. So let's have some fun. We're gonna look at a couple things here, and I think we should go back a little bit, just because the problem here too is this person has the inability to really focus on any of the issues at hand. So anything that we've brought up already or have addressed with her, they're rarely ever clapping back with those. It's deflection in some way. Oh, you misgendered me. And it's like, but did you address like the whole kid part? Like, did you, you know what I mean? And I'm not coming at anybody again for their profession, if it's sex work, if it's, you know, whatever. Realistically, it doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect you. I could give a rat's ass if you do that. It doesn't make me look at anybody any less. And in fact, just throwing this one out here too, I supported this person, right? So I don't even remember specifically how I came across her a couple of years ago, to be honest now. But I noticed that she was getting slammed, I mean, beat up on social media. So I'm looking at her and I'm just going to, again, like I said, I'm just going to be honest with you. She's not the most attractive thing on this planet. Well, and I apologize if I do misgender. I really do not mean to. It's hard for me to go back and forth because she does and has. So I will try my best not to do that. And it's not intentional whatsoever to say they, because that's what they prefer. Anyways. But yeah, so they really kind of don't make a lot of sense to me. And I'm like, man, people are so nasty and hateful, and like, that's terrible. And I'm thinking, hey, cheer for the underdog, right? That sucks that people are so hateful. And then I started to notice like the severity of this bullying. And I went, all right, hold on just a second. Let me just look at this. And they were posting about this Reddit snark page. Eventually it got to the point where I'm looking at it and I said, you know what, let me go over there. So I did. What I saw over there was infuriating. And I'm talking, there's receipts, there's videos, there's people that have experienced this individual talking about predatory behavior, narcissistic behavior, and talking about all kinds of things when it comes to consent. Just a really shitty human being. It is what it is. It's my opinion. I can do that. Right? Right, Danis? All right. So, and we're going to have a sense of humor up in this bitch, because you're going to need it. Again, it's infuriating. And we're going to have fun. So if you've never heard of Goral World, this is kind of a similar aspect or take on it. Or you can just go ahead and call it what it is, Hater Nation. Whatevs. So I didn't dislike the, I guess, takes, if you will, of the other creators that have put their stuff out there. But this person genuinely needs a deep dive. Like when I say a deep dive, I mean like there is a plethora of shit you can go through and dissect this shit and go, holy, what? How does a person become this? Like seriously. And because of that, when I look at the other creators, they'll give, you know, and again, I didn't dislike it, but you know, an hour here or an hour there, and then they kind of move on to the next lol cow or piece of crap. But there was a lot of things that I think that should have been addressed, such as the parenting, such as the people coming in and out of the house safety wise, such as I don't understand how you're a motherfucking sex worker, but you can get your makeup on, which that in itself is a questionable statement. You can, you know, put all this effort, I guess is what I'm saying, into this shit, except the teeth. How do you do that? How do you put the makeup on? Put the wig on, which God bless those poor wigs. Listen. Those poor wigs. I have never seen such a wig like those. Okay. A good gust of wind and them shits are just flying. They're bye. I actually thought about it. I was like, okay, would that be like a rest in peace to that wig? Like you're a real one. What a unit to have to sit there and do that shit. Or would it be like fly in peace? FIPW? Fly in peace wig. Poor things. Anyways. But how do you put all the effort in except for brushing your teeth that day? Even once a day, there is absolutely, you cannot convince me that you just forgot here or there. You cannot convince me of that shit. No, not never. Okay. So I don't understand how that happened. And I don't think I ever will. I've never seen anything that severe. But then you put all this effort into your face, or you put your outfits or whatever other dumb shit that's really, quite honestly, not that flattering, but whatever. So yeah, when I supported that person, it was, you know, not out of sympathy per se, because yikes, but more so out of like, hey, people are so mean to this person. Maybe they're just trying to be creative, until you see what a piece of garbage they are. There was a lot of things they skipped over, such as, I don't know, her dead dog in the freezer. I'm not making this shit up. It's all on her profile. You want to go look, go look. We're going to look at it together. But that's important shit. Like, how do you can't just pass that over. You can't. So I'm not going to rush on any of these that we do. I think eventually we could do like a live or whatever on a Friday night, because, you know, we're boring, and a lot of us are parents or whatever. And we're not out here just calling polyamorous what she takes it as, which is just like hookups. You know what I mean? Okay, so you want to date a bunch of different people, and that's what polyamory is? Why don't you just say you want to date a bunch of other people and have an open relationship? So they will very much go back and forth between these pronouns just when it's convenient, is what I have noticed. In addition to some of the slurs that she's used. So when I realized all this shit, I was actually pretty pissed that I believed whatever this person said and supported them. You know, if you are out here doing the shit that you're doing, be for real. Okay, just be for real. Danis, you cannot convince me that you look yourself in the mirror and you're happy with the shit that you've done. And you still do. Nobody wants to see that shit at Bonnaroo. Ain't nobody wants to see that shit at Bonnaroo. I'll speak for the rest of them, and they can sit here and tell me otherwise, but I don't think that's going to happen. So come at me. All right, so let's find this video. This is going to be the first one where we look back at some of the slurs that she's used, but we also look at her response towards it. And I found this very interesting, because it's like, okay, are you going to take any accountability? No? Okay. We're going to blame it on everything else except for the fact that we suck entirely at life? Got it. Okay. So give me a second and I will pull that up for us.
Beyond frustrated. I literally had surgery today, like went under anesthesia, the whole 9 yards, and here I am feeling compelled to make this video because I am currently being harassed in my message requests and on my anonymous question app NGL. I want to address this head on and handle this now because I know how serious these accusations are and how important it is to take accountability, but I also want to give clarity to the situation. So essentially, my little hate groups, gotta love them, have been stalking me to the extent of finding a YouTube channel of mine where I posted videos mainly as a minor.
Okay, but like, isn't that the whole purpose of posting shit? Is like, so people find it? You can already see where this is going, like I said. As a minor, stop it, Danis. That ain't an apology. If you're gonna sit here and apologize, then apologize. But you're already going out some way to blame it on something else. Stop it.
In high school, someone clearly was bored enough to watch every single video just to find little pieces that they did not like. I don't have access to the
Little pieces they didn't like, or like shit that you did that was racist, and like the slurs that you've used. A little bit of a difference there, don't you think?
It's so blurry.
Okay, it's fuck.
How do you change? Because it only works like if you're
That's
your Zoom.
this YouTube anymore. Otherwise, I would have privated every video, but I haven't had access to this YouTube in ages. So the biggest thing that came out of these videos is someone saw me, heard me use the N-word in one of these YouTube videos from when I was 19. There's no excusing it. It was wrong. I deeply regret saying it, even in what I thought at the time was a casual or harmless context.
Okay. Did you just say that? All right, so we're pulling the whole oh, I was 19. Bullshit, but are you serious when you say harmless? Can anybody clarify this shit for me? How do you use the N-word in a casual way? Or am I missing something?
This video was like 2012, 2013. Saying what I said is not harmless, and I understand the weight that that word carries, and white people have no business saying it. At that age, though, I was very much a product of my environment and my upbringing.
Oh, there it is. The next deflection. Oh no, it's because of the way I was raised. Danis, be for real. This is not an apology. That's not how you apologize. You don't say, well, I'm sorry, but it's because... No, that's an excuse. That is straight up an excuse. God, you suck, man.
I grew up in a household and a community that didn't challenge harmful ideologies. I'm pretty sure I'm the only person in my family now that doesn't vote for Trump. So I
And on to the politics. Yay!
carried a lot of those flaws with me, and I carried them into my early adulthood as well. I mean, for fuck's sake, in high school, I was on the debate team and I was really good at it, but I was on the Republican side because that's how I was raised. Even though I knew I was queer at the time, but I wasn't open as being queer because my parents would have fucking disowned me. At 19 years old, I also mocked people who used they, them pronouns, and how I use they, them pronouns.
You damn sure did. You damn sure did. And you know what? You still have. You still have. You have also, this is a little side note, I was debating whether I was going to put this in here. There's a clip at Dunkin' Donuts, and again, if y'all aren't new.
And she's about to eat an entire donut in one bite. Alright.
How do you feel? You got some sprinkles on your lip. It doesn't count if you don't finish them.
You gotta swallow for it to count as
You gotta
one
lick the
bite.
sprinkles off too.
Seductively lick the sprinkles
Exactly.
off.
What?
What was that, Brian? I didn't hear you. Can you speak up? Oh my god. It's so sick for my mouth.
good. We're almost there. Home stretch, Brie. Yeah,
I said to lick it off seductively. She fucking ate it. Oh my God. She just...
You haven't finished it yet?
Her fucking lips.
Alright, I guess. Hold it.
She don't...
Alright, I'm back. Gotta smack the lips. Compose yourself, Brie.
It's doing really serious swallows.
What are you doing with your hands?
I told you she's bracing herself.
What?
Wait, you gotta open wide, none left. Alright, woo!
Yes.
I look back at that version of myself and see someone who was ignorant, uneducated, and just parroting the values I was taught by my family and my surrounding. That said, I don't want to lean on my upbringing as an excuse because it isn't. I take full responsibility for what I said and for the harm it caused. I was an adult, a young adult, but I was an adult, and I should have been doing the research and education then. Since then, I've done a lot of growing, which included spending time away from people and systems that shaped those harmful perspectives around me. I emancipated myself from the majority of my family, which really allowed me to start deconstructing a lot of my negative thoughts. I've taken steps.
It's interesting you say that because you just did a live or like a story today saying, oh, everybody's all like upset because I'm going to Bonnaroo and I have family that watches my tiny human. You literally just said in this video that you like separate yourself from them. So which is it?
Steps to educate myself and to be a better ally to marginalized communities. I've also used my platforms to amplify voices and causes that matter, not because I'm trying to present myself as woke, but because it's the
Holy shit, are you kidding me? B, we are not new. We are not new. You definitely present yourself as woke, and you definitely would give, if you had this, you would give your left testicle to be in a marginalized community. Be so for real.
the right thing to do. I mean, like, I feel like it says something that I used to make fun of they, them pronouns, and now I am a trans person with they, them pronouns. The next thing I want to talk about is jokes regarding Asian people. In one of these YouTube videos when I'm like 18 or 19 years old, these were made during a conversation with my Asian friends who were also in the video. And in that moment, we were laughing and teasing each other, including one friend's love for Panda Express. I was like, you make the best Asian food I've ever had. Why do you like Panda Express? And at the time, it didn't feel malicious or inappropriate because of the context, but I understand now that even in a joking setting, some comments can come off wrong or be hurtful to others or not taken the way that they were meant. And if anything I said crossed the line in regards to Asian people, y'all are allowed.
The fact that you're laughing though, like the smug ass look on your face, the fact that you're laughing, this means nothing. This means absolutely fucking nothing. Just saying. This is the worst apology video I think I've ever seen. Just saying. Not to mention, forget the they, them pronoun shit that you keep pulling. You also use the F word as a slur. So let's put that on the table.
Out to like Panda Express. I like Panda Express. Like, it's not the best, it's fast food, but like, anyways, I am willing to take that feedback, reflect on it. I don't want to diminish anyone's experience or brush off the impact of those words. Just because someone doesn't intend to be racist doesn't mean that they're not being racist. So I'll reflect on that. Okay, the next two things I want to bring up are absolutely fucking asinine. Someone is claiming, not someone, a lot of people are claiming that I'm being racist about nail salons. I made a statement that I have a preference for high quality nail technicians who work independently, and that has nothing to do with anyone's ethnicity. I understand that there are racial stereotypes that nail salons are often Asian run, but all I said was to have high quality acrylic nails, prefer independent nail technicians and not going to run of the mill grocery store plazas. And this has always been about the level of skill and customization I'm looking for in acrylic nail art.
Boy, did this sit well these days. Okay, the nail situation, first of all, I personally would love to find some loyalty in nails the way that one motherfucking nail hung on for Dana. Can we just give a shout out to that nail? That poor little nail. He really gave it all, didn't he? Yeah. I don't know what you're saying here. That's a weird thing to say anyways. Why would any of that matter when it comes to like somebody's ethnicity? High quality nails. How about this? How about you post what exactly you said as the statement that you're addressing, since it's so asinine, but you're about to pretend to apologize while saying it's asinine that they accused you of this. You see what I'm saying?
This has nothing to do with race or ethnicity. I've gone to nail techs of all races, all genders, all sexes who meet my personal preferences. This suggestion that this is racially motivated is really unfair, but I also recognize that biases and stereotypes can seep into our words without us realizing it. So I'll be more mindful of how I frame my preferences to avoid unintentionally contributing to those stereotypes. But I go to my nail tech not because she's not Asian, but because she's a good nail tech, and I'd rather go to an independent person than a salon full of a bunch of people. Lastly, regarding my daughter and Santa Claus, a lot of people think I handled telling my daughter that Santa Claus isn't real racially.
No, you handled that shitty. Straight up. Your kid was like either 6 or 7 in this video. And instead of just saying, hey, Santa's not got as many presents this year, you straight up told her Santa's not real. And that's, well, because you're a bitch.
I mentioned her classmates' cultural backgrounds as context, not to blame anyone for her no longer believing in Santa. Where I live in Nashville, it's a very diverse area, and many of her classmates come from cultures or religions that do not celebrate Christmas. And some of those kids have been telling her that Santa wasn't real since kindergarten. And as a mom, I wanted to help her understand why other kids might see things differently. Tell her that Santa's not real.
Y'all, did you know that kindergarten, there is no D, there is no T, or however you want to pronounce that. It's garten. Okay, same thing with like Doc Martens. Why do you say shit like this?
She said she already knew and that other kids had told her, and it's truly because of their cultural differences. They're not telling her that they don't believe in Santa or Santa's not real because they're trying to ruin her childhood. They were telling her that Santa's not real because they've never been told that Santa's real because of their ethnicity. And I'm sure that their parents have always explained it to them that other people believe in Santa, but we don't. In hindsight, I realize that mentioning their ethnicity or the language they speak may have been unnecessary and could come.
Okay, because you give a whole different ass story on why you told your kid that Santa wasn't real. Yeah, kind of like when you let Eli open the PS5 that you financed after scamming, and not your kid. So there's that.
We are finally a PS5 family. I was only able to afford this because I got it at a doorbuster midnight sale, and I literally financed it for 12 months. I'm only paying $36 on it a month. come across as insensitive, but that was not my intention, and I regret how that was framed and how that was taken. I'm not blaming Arabic speaking people for my daughter not believing in Santa Claus. I would never blame a child for anything.
You're still laughing? And no, you're right. We should just blame you.
I want to be clear that I'm not perfect, and I don't claim to be. I've made mistakes in the past, and I'm still learning and growing, and I've worked hard to unlearn harmful ideologies. I grew up to be a better person, and I just want to be a better ally and a better parent. And I know that sometimes my words or actions can miss the mark, and I'm open to being called out and doing the work to improve. At the same time, I ask that people also consider the growth that I have made as a person and who I am.
Oof, God, this did not end well for you. This was 20 weeks ago. This is not how this went down. I mean, bro, you got fired from a hot dog stand. Come on, man.
Today, I am not the same flawed and ignorant version of myself from years ago, immediately after graduating high school. I'm 31 years old. I'll keep doing the work and holding myself accountable because I care deeply about these issues and about being someone my daughter, my community, and my audience can respect. So thank you for holding me to a high standard, even when it's uncomfortable to face. Anyway.
You know what was very uncomfortable for me to face? You look in that motherfucking toilet. My God, I cannot with you. And I'm looking at Eloise, knowing that she's in your fucking freezer right now, dude. You really need to get your priorities straight, because they're like, looking at from where you made this to looking at now, holy shit.
Anyways, I'm gonna go back to just resting and relaxing, because as I said, I had surgery today. Thank you for listening. If you still hate me after this, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, you too, because I definitely still hate you. Definitely still looking at the dog in your freezer. And you had surgery on your teeth because of you. You see what I'm saying? All this comes back to you, Deanie. Instead of making better choices and instead of doing things better, you keep putting shit out here that makes it worse. Yeah. So I just kind of wanted to, well, I made you a little something. This is kind of a prime example of, hey, when you put shit on the internet, it sticks. And people can get creative, and I just, I don't know. I thought you might like this a little bit. So that's all.
Your call cannot be completed as dialed.
Okay, I'm back.
It's me, Dana. As a red flag, Repzilla. Yes. I am currently being harassed. Again, on purpose, not by accident. Repzilla.
I am currently being harassed.
Repzilla. Sir, I asked you to break the ice. It's me, Dana. As a red flag, Repzilla. Yes. I am currently being harassed. Again, on purpose, not by accident. Repzilla.
I am currently being harassed.
Repzilla. Sir, I asked you to break the ice. Again, on purpose, not by accident. Repzilla.
I am currently being harassed.
Repzilla. Sir, I asked you to break the ice, not shatter it into emotionally complicated shards.
They want the stage, so let's give it to them.
DocuStar Media.